And the reason, and another reason why I fucking hate this kind of shit as well is because, like, so if you don't know, like, I actually watched Queeman debate Loner Box, so it's even bleeding into drama. Just FYI, it's bleeding into drama. Like, I even watched like Queeman debate Loner Box. Obviously, I was on Loner Box's side, okay, and they were debating Israel versus Palestine, like like they debate like 3 separate times, I think, or something. So yeah, like it is relevant, right? It is behind their argument. Their argument is because it's an issue that is so important, anything is justified, especially rhetoric that is against destiny, right? So again, IVP discourse is bleeding into commentary drama. It's unhinged.
So-called online terror supporters or their arguments, but
Anyway,
that's for good reason, because most of these activists have been calling for Israel to lift the siege. They want Palestinians to live, and they're not as stupid or morally bankrupt as to believe that these PR gestures are enough. They're not. Al-Qatib does not directly cite these critics because he can't. Demonizing Palestinian activists is what the pro-Israel think tank he works for pays him to do, and he wants to get paid. It makes perfect sense.
proof? Proof? Do you have any proof? Do you have any fucking proof for that? You little bitch.
Here's how Al-Qatib ends his article. He writes, "If Hamas believes that the suffering of Gazans bolsters its cause, Israeli decision makers should take that to heart."
I like how this is just like one way to avoid anti-Semitic claims, right? They make every single possible statement that aligns like exactly with like the most anti-Semitic things, right? Like imagine if you said something like, well, well, we all know that Al-Qatib is paid for by Jews, okay? Imagine if he said something like that, but that's essentially what he's saying, right? Because the thing is that it's just like how thug is for black people, right? And chinks is for Chinese people or whatever. Like Israelis is for Jewish for the Jews, right? It's like how Trump says Chinese people or whatever, right? It's all the fucking same. It's all the fucking same. Yeah, fuck me.
They should abandon their misguided and inhumane policies and cease their efforts to pressure the population as a means of pressuring the terror group. The best way to undermine Hamas's position is to instead flood Gaza with food and to alleviate the suffering of its people. So this is what's called lip service, right? He calls for a flood of aid after writing an entire article using all of the arguments that Israel uses to justify its starvation campaign. If all of this is Hamas's fault, as Al-Qatib notes, if Israel really is starving the Gaza Strip strategically to target Hamas, as Al-Qatib suggested, and if Hamas are the ones stealing aid, as Al-Qatib subtly implied, then he should be against aid coming in. He says he's not, though, which is a contradiction. People aren't buying it. The comments under the Instagram post of the Atlantic article were very critical. Israel is responsible for blocking aid into Gaza. Tell the truth. That comment has 3,000 likes. Are y'all high? No one is starving the population except Israel. No one. 1,800 likes. Imagine being the Atlantic and choosing genocide over human rights. Shame, shame, shame. 3,500 likes. The point of this segment of the stream was to mention that this disgusting genocide-denying collaborator is the only, quote, Palestinian voice that Ethan Klein has platformed in the last 2 years. He is a token whose rhetoric supports Israel, the state that is genociding his people. And he does this because he gets paid to do it. Ethan platforms him because they want the same thing. They want to position Palestinian resistance as the real cause for Israel's genocide and paint anyone supporting that resistance as terrorists and terrorist supporters. Anyways, that's my brief response to the article. Now let's get back to the stream where we talk more about the freak who wrote it.
The Palestinian who wrote this travesty has a master's in intelligence studies from American University and has written pieces for the Washington Institute of Near East Policy, a think tank founded by AIPAC in 1985. He now runs the Realign for Palestine pro.
I mean, maybe he is a little bit too pro-Israeli. You know, maybe I'll agree with you on that, right? But the thing is that like we have Noah Samson here literally saying, "Oh yeah, he's being paid for by Israelis," and no proof afterwards, right? Like fuck, it's as blatant as it gets. It's not even about like the validity of Talib, right? It's about like the way that they talk about Talib that is so disgusting. Anyway, sure, I'm not gonna dispute that Bing Bong, Bing Bong, good name.
program at the Atlantic Council, another think tank and CIA cutout. On Twitter, he openly reposts virulent Israeli Hasbaris and wages war against liberatory language. He always tries to angle it from the perspective of like, I'm a Palestinian, my family has been killed by Israel, and I think the real enemy here is not Israel, but it's actually Hamas. His role in the imperial system is to muddy the waters surrounding the framework of the two-state solution by weaponizing his Palestinian identity, thereby complicating the situation. This is for material gain and political access. My latest for the Atlantic, Hamas actually
Also, just FYI, I like how Hassan never talks about his debate anymore. Guys, we can't forget about the debate, okay? We literally cannot forget about the debate, okay? Just FYI, all right? I think it's really important, okay? Destiny turned off Khalid because he was too charitable to Israel? What, really? Wait, holy shit. I mean, it would take a lot for Destiny to turn down someone who's pro-Israel, right? I mean, he is the pro-Israel guy, you know?
wants a famine. Hamas actually wants a famine in Gaza, producing
Also, just FYI, all right, just FYI. I just don't want people to forget about the debate that that Hassan had with Ethan Klein. I just don't want people to forget about that. That's it. I really don't. Because the more that Hassan tries to divert people's attention away from that debate, the worse it gets, right? Because in my opinion, if there's anything that shows how horrible of a human being Hassan is, that is a definitive 4-hour segment of proof. I truly believe it is that 4-hour debate between him and Ethan Klein. I truly believe so, right? Like, in my opinion, at the very least. I think it's really important, but yeah, anyway.
mass death from hunger is the group's final play, its last hope for ending the war in a way that advances its goals. The deception of fake anti-Hamas peaceniks, Khalil Jerry's, has thoroughly...
Also, I'm still not sure. Fuck, because this was a rumor, okay? Is it true that Queenman has been DMing Hassan behind the scenes? Is that true? Fuck me. Did you go over it? Yeah, I did. It was awesome, okay? I had a great time. I also had a great time watching Destiny go over it. Fuck! I might just watch that in my free time again. Just because it was so fucking epic. It was some of the most epic content that I have ever fucking seen. Okay, Jesus. Fuck, it turned me on. It made me... Made me come. Okay.
shown himself to be nothing more than a typical fraudulent peace activist. His entire Realign for Palestine program is literally just one big psyop to...
Listen, I'm anti-Semitic, and even Hassan and crew is too anti-Semitic for me, okay? Jesus. Hassan watches Queenman on stream, right? Yes. I believe that's correct. Yeah, but I don't know if they DM, right? Like Hassan has even watched Pisco on stream, right? So yeah.
Confuse the framework in service of intelligence interests. Ahmed Fuad Al-Qatib is a classic example of how colonialism cannot survive without native collaboration. Realign from radical extremism to radical pragmatism.
Radical pragmatism.
Yeah,
That's
calls for more
awesome.
violence must be rejected. Violence only fosters fear, resentment, and retribution.
Cause for Israel's genocide and paint anyone supporting that resistance as terrorists and terrorist supporters. Anyways, that's my brief response to the article. Now let's get back to the stream where we talk more about the freak who wrote it.
The Palestinian who wrote this travesty has a master's in intelligence studies from American University and has written pieces for the Washington Institute of Near East Policy, a think tank founded by AIPAC in 1985. He now runs the Realign for Palestine program at the Atlantic Council, another think tank and CIA cutout.
Oh, hey,
On Twitter, he
I got my
openly
coffee.
reposts virulent Israeli Hasbaris and wages war against liberatory language. He always tries to angle it from the perspective of like, I'm a Palestinian, my family has been killed by Israel, and I think the real enemy here is not Israel, but it's actually Hamas. His role in the imperial system is to muddy the waters surrounding the framework of the two-state solution by weaponizing his Palestinian identity, thereby complicating the situation. This is for material gain and political access. My latest for the Atlantic, Hamas actually wants a famine. Hamas actually wants a famine in Gaza, producing mass death from hunger is the group's final play, its last hope for ending the war in a way that advances its goals. The deception of fake anti-Hamas peace.
Do you know, dude, I love how BE is in the chat, like you see BE right there, as in like the initials, and then It's the fucking let's fucking go emoji. Very nice. Good one. Just blatant endorsement. Just blatant endorsement of one of the most infamous doxers, okay, in this entire space, okay? No fucking such thing as justified doxing for this guy, okay? This guy is entirely unjustified, unhinged, crazy shit, okay? But love to see that in Hassan's chat, just FYI, okay?
Peacenicks,
cool.
Khalil Jerry's has thoroughly shown himself to be nothing more than a typical fraudulent peace activist. His entire Realign for Palestine program is literally just one big psyop to confuse the framework in service of intelligence interests. Ahmed Fuad Al-Qatib is a classic example of how colonialism cannot survive without native collaboration. Realign from radical extremism to radical pragmatism.
Radical pragmatism.
Yeah,
That's
calls for more
awesome.
violence must be rejected. Violence only fosters fear, resentment, and retribution. So, like, a lot of the language that he's using is specifically tailored towards like liberal interests
100%.
and liberal needs.
Liberal is when you try to promote peace, I guess.
So that he's basically like the kind of guy that if you criticize, people are going to go, "What the fuck do you mean? This is a Palestinian."
You're
And
speaking
he loves
Palestinian
peace.
voices, yeah.
These guys will very rarely ever apply this metric to the actual party that is doing maximalist violence, that is using maximalist language, right? Israel.
Hamas?
Israel is the responsible colonial entity for all of the violence that has unfolded in the region, even violence that Israel itself has experienced, like October 7, because they set the standard.
Wait, what the fuck? Did they actually blame October 7th on Israel? Did he just find some way to do that? Dude. That's wild. What? What? Dude, he hasn't even said Hamas even once. What a crazy characterization, dude. What an absolutely unhinged characterization of October 7th.
Standard for violence. They said this.
Why is that dude even funny? It's fucking clout. Alright? If he's on Hassan's screen, that's for clout, okay?
Standard for violence, and then the inevitable reaction to the practices of apartheid that are inherently violent will of course invoke a violent response. This is how it works. Okay.
When people talk about, cycles of violence, there is truth to the idea of a cycle of violence, but the disproportionate power, and then specifically like the inception point of that violence, the violence started somewhere, and it was the foundation of Israel. Zionism as an ideology. It starts there. Everything that happens after that unfolds under the same logic, affirming the same ideology, and reactive violence is treated by people like this. They're weighed in the same way. There is no comparison here, and there's no way to adequately, in a single article, even like contextualize the discrepancy in the systematic nature of the violence. Like, the aid massacres, right? They're happening every day. It's like 50 people are getting gunned down while they're running into these, cages that Israel has set up for them while starving. You see the bodies.
What?
Under the same logic, affirming the same ideology, and reactive violence is treated by people like this. They're weighed in the same way. There is no comparison here, and there's no way to adequately, in a single article, even like contextualize the discrepancy in the systematic nature of the violence. Like, the aid massacres, right? They're happening every day. It's like 50 people are getting gunned down while they're running into these, cages that Israel has set up for them while starving. You see the bodies.
The Gaza Health Ministry, okay, so Hamas, and witnesses have reported that Israeli forces have opened fire on crowds waiting for aid, resulting in numerous deaths and injuries, according to Al Jazeera. Okay, is there any source that isn't coming from fucking... Man of famine have been killed, thousands have been wounded when being fired upon by the IDF, Hamas, and armed gangs and contractors hired by Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Wait, so it's like all 4 of these organizations? Wait, why don't they ever mention Hamas? Why don't they ever mention Hamas when they shoot these people?
That are going into the hospitals, they have bullets in them, and you can.
Israel users have infinitely powerful with Hassan, but Hassan is one of the biggest streamers and just has a massive GQ thirst trap puff piece.
See their hip bones. And it's like, this is happening every day, but people want to talk about rhetoric. They want to talk about
People's
terroristic
feelings.
rhetoric.
People's feelings.
It's about feelings and ideas and like
feelings of people in the West who like people who live in the comfortable bosom of the West and how this hurts their feelings. It's like, I don't care. Okay. I don't care about people's feelings at this point. Like I usually don't when there's like a tremendous imbalance.
Nah, I think you'll always care about people's feelings, okay? When was the last time Hassan hasn't cared about someone's feelings towards him?
Balance of power and asymmetry to the way that Israel has been able to slaughter so many Palestinians. It's completely ridiculous.
Israel is in fact terrible at media in recent history, except for the IDF girls, okay?
To hyper focus on the feelings of people in the West is so insane to me.
And even when it comes to like genuine anti-Semites like Myron Gaines or something, or a Sneeko, where they do not like Jewish people and they're using pro-Palestine, rhetoric to facilitate that anti-Semitism. Even when it comes to that, people that focus in the entirety of their time, and it's fine to want to criticize the anti-Semitism there, but if all you're doing is looking at these examples of rhetorical anti-Semitism, these things these people are saying, which are anti-Semitic, but you're talking about tweets, you're talking about words versus systematic mass murder and genocide that is actually happening right now on the ground with real people. And at the same time, also the government is doing the same rhetoric, or worse, the people in power, not random podcasters, then you're helping that second group.
I tried to describe this to the Nelk boys after they interviewed Benjamin Netanyahu in my conversation, where I was...
You look terrible in that confrontation, just FYI, okay? You didn't convince anyone, okay? Like, you look horrible. You like Hassan, I feel like Hassan's audience has not grown in like the last like fucking 2 years or something. I don't fucking know. Like, how does anyone know how much Hassan's audience has actually grown? Like, this guy's assets are frozen. Okay, Jesus.
Like, I wouldn't talk to Nick Fuentes. I wouldn't have Nick Fuentes on the podcast because...
Wait, doesn't Hassan like retweet like actual neo-Nazis? Am I misremembering this somehow? Doesn't Hassan like retweet actual neo-Nazis?
Nick Fuentes is a neo-Nazi, right? He is an overt anti-Semite. He has tremendous hatred for all different kinds of marginalized groups. But even Nick Fuentes is still a fucking neo-Nazi in America as like a podcaster. He's like a media personality. Benjamin Netanyahu is an actual war criminal that is responsible for this genocide, right? And he's not the only party that's responsible, but he's perhaps the most responsible. He's like spearheading this. And there's even legal repercussions that are unprecedented from the likes of the ICC to try to get him arrested for these war crimes. Like, this is probably one of the worst people on the planet at this moment, right? And therefore, he's even worse than Nick Fuentes to talk to. And I don't think Nick Fuentes is a person that I don't even think I wouldn't give a platform to Nick Fuentes for his opinions to begin with. But he has the opinions and he's also implementing the action beyond it, right?
You said you wouldn't have Netanyahu on.
I mean,
they wouldn't offer, of course.
That would never happen regardless, but obviously it would be very different.
Wait, what? Dude. Yeah, okay, so you just want all the clout then. That's okay, so just be honest about it. Just be honest that you want all the clout from having Netanyahu on. Trust me, Netanyahu, if Netanyahu was on Hassan would be the most pro-Israeli, okay, pro-Likud propaganda to ever exist, okay? Everything that Hassan says is vile garbage that can be used against him. All right, and be used for pro-bombing Gaza, okay, period. All right, everything Hassan does, all the way from his pro-terrorist propaganda, all the way to his dishonest messaging, all the way to his infiltration of liberal movements, okay, everything, all right? He is Hydra. He is Hydra. We are all Hydra, okay?
Conversation between me and Netanyahu would take place in a very different setting than a conversation between,
you wouldn't ask him about Burger King? No.
The reason why we're covering this, for a lot of people who say...
Was that a reference to Tim Houthi?
They're like, oh, dude, like, this is his drama. I totally understand why you think it is. But
Hassan can't even beat a 19-year-old? When was the last time Hassan has ever definitively won a debate ever?
But there is at this point like millions and millions of views that have come from...
God, just look at him. Oh God, this guy's a fucking this guy's a fucking retard. God, just look at
these slop tube content creators in defense of Israel's genocide, even if they don't directly say that they're pro-Israel, even if they sometimes say they're anti-Israel, okay? Or even if they say what Israel's doing a genocide. If they spend, we all have a finite amount of time on this planet.
I think he probably won that debate against the 15-year-old Israeli kid that he dragged on stream. Oh, the 15-year-old. Okay.
And certainly as content creators, we all have a limited amount of time to make an impact. If you're using all of that time to attack the pro-Palestinian side as aggressively as possible,
he had one win against Andrew Tate. Yeah, true.
And never reserve even a fraction of that animosity towards the...
We need a new slur for men like him. Downy, drooling, vegetable retard. Okay, there you go.
Actual responsible party here, Israel, then you're not pro-Palestine. You're just not. You are a coward who is pro-Israel, but too ashamed to openly say you're pro-Israel. Sure hoping your time here is finite, law. I mean, we're all going to die, chatter.
Wait,
myself included.
It was your birthday a few days ago, right?
Yeah, I'm 34 now.
Yeah, so, you know, keep doing what you're doing. I think...
Dude, you just gave Hassan fucking war flashbacks, dude. Careful.
Drama as like a category, it doesn't really adequately cover what we're talking about here, because we're talking about creators talking about other creators, but there's a lot of undergirding political issues that drama doesn't suffice if you're just, because it gives a sort of a tone that you're just talking about another creator for the sake of talking about them.
Yeah.
When they are doing drama content in the sort of format that they've always used, but they're also defending a genocide with it by only attacking anti-genocide advocates. So
yeah, I hope that their audiences at the very least, like as the attitude around this shifts, as more and more people come to that recognition, I hope that people in their audiences at the very least, like even if they still fucking hate me or hate you or whoever the fuck, right? They still at least like arrive at the correct position inevitably. That's why I'm more, I guess I'm more open-minded about people who are like, oh, now it clicked for me, right? Like the average person online that has only now come to this conclusion. I have a lot less smoke for them than I do for politicians, for example. And my only expectation from those people that come to the conclusion, the correct interpretation of events, that Israel is doing a genocide, and it is perfectly valid, both legally and morally, to resist against the genocide of people, that they don't...
Dude, Hassan is like unironically, he's kind of like unironically, if I'm so wrong, why am I always right? If I'm so wrong, why do I agree with all my own opinions?
Fucking do this wishy-washy.
Oh god, just like what a fucking block of meat.
But,
Jesus.
you know, I only came to this conclusion late because the left was too aggressive, or because I don't like Hassan, or because I don't like Noah. I don't like Bad Empanada and the way he was speaking about it. Like, don't try to come in after the fact and then still try to like attack people who have been on the right side on this issue from the start. I know people don't remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And maybe I made you feel really bad. I'm welcoming at this point.
Yeah, if all the people that have been propagating these attacks against creators that are pro-Palestine or anti-genocide, if all of them decided I was wrong about this, I don't even care if they address that they were wrong. They don't need to tell us that we were right, because none of that really matters. What matters is that the genocide is happening and they have a platform to say something and shape public perception, and they need to start using it. And like, I think even on the left, a lot of people get caught up with this idea that like the history books will reflect poorly upon these people, which is absolutely true. But it gets to a point where people are more focused on the fact that people are wrong rather than wanting it to end and wanting to do whatever we can to do that.
Like, I'll give you an example, okay? Mudahar. If Mudahar came out 10 toes down tomorrow and was like, fuck Israel, free Palestine, you know, he doesn't even need to say he was wrong in the past.
I think Hassan's just like really, I think I know what's going on. I think I know what's going on. I think Hassan is really insecure that he's unable to convince any large figures. I think that's why he constantly goes out to these like crowds of people in real life in order to convince himself that he is actually convincing or like good at arguing these kinds of things, right? Because the thing is that I think I think that when it comes to larger figures or like people who are large figures that he tries to convince, he probably knows already that he's pretty damn bad at debating people. So like he is too scared to debate anyone that might like make him look like a fucking fool, like Ethan Klein and him, right? So the thing is that instead he just like massages his own bruised ego, right? By going out to fucking Coachella, right, in front of fucking crowd of fucking Zoomers who won't ever vote anyway, right? To try to convince them, try to be like a fucking superstar, right? It's so fucking cringe. Like how he thinks that, oh yeah, you know what? I just want, it's literally like Mama Max's like fucking pick a side, right? Or some shit like that, except it's for Israel versus Palestine. It's so cringe. No content. Listen, content creators already have massive egos. Okay, there's no shot you're gonna pressure them to doing something for you and being your little like baby bitch. Okay, like just by saying, yeah, you know what, you gotta do it. Okay, because I said so. Okay. He just simply ran out of arguments, I guess, and then this is the only argument he has left is, well, it would make me feel better.
I would literally be
The Ethan Hassan debate was so cathartic. Me and my wife were cheering on the couch like it was the Super Bowl. Holy shit. That sounds so based. What is this? Hassan, hours watched, 14% down. Followers gained, 1,700. Average viewers down 6%, 25,000. Peak viewers 35,000, down 1.2%. Hours streamed down 8%. 6 streams. Summary stats over the last 7 days. Can we check the last 30 days? Ooh. Uh-oh. You guys don't want to know about the last 30 days, okay? All red. Oof, dude. All of them are red. Oh my god. Oh my god. Last month is not good for Hassan. Holy cow. Okay, let's take a look at 90 days. Maybe this will be better, okay? It probably will. Oh, here we go. It is better. 33,000 average viewers, okay? But that was, there is a peak, okay? Just chatting right here, okay? Let's take a look at last 180 days. Okay. Right? Ooh, but the last, listen, but the last 30 days, that's yikesy, okay? Wasn't that the Ethan Klein debate? Yep. I think so.
like, all right, good, you know, great. None of this like wishy-washy, it's a genocide, but all the people resisting against the genocide are also bad and scary because they're Muslim.
Ethan Klein, if you're clip this. Ethan Klein, if you're watching, spend one day on your Instagram stories, just one day, or like through every other Instagram.
Bro, they're so desperate for a W. They are so desperate for a W. Oh my god.
Story about Hassan. Post a photo of a starving kid in Gaza. Post a video from Bisan, or post a video of from.
Please post child porn on your account, please, if you want to show support for the kids in Palestine, please. I just want, please. I'm almost there, okay? Please. I just need one more baby ribs, okay? I need one more baby ribs. And I am gonna come. Okay? That's it. Alright?
A bombing that just happened, and show us what this state of Israel that you claim to think is a free and open place, what Israel is doing. You don't show that. On your stories, you don't show that. You just attack people because you have your own gripes. Whatever, you can do that. But at least one story, 2 stories a day, not pro-Israel propaganda. I saw Hila like a post from a pro-Israel propagandist. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, Hen Mazig about the starvation.
That's their favorite. That's their favorite content creator.
Post every day. Post a few of them, right? Okay. And see what happens from there. Like just do that.
Start peppering in some anti-Israel sentiment, please.
I'm not even saying this vindictively or for any reason other than you have a huge platform of people that could see this, and I think it's framed a lot of times by that crowd as like gore porn, which is kind of crazy. They're just like, oh, I don't want to see that.
someone said
It
too.
is.
Yeah,
It
they
is.
said
Someone
It
said he
is.
reposted
It
Hen
is.
Magic like 20
It's gore porn.
minutes ago.
Oh yeah, guys, just FYI, okay? If you guys haven't liked the stream yet, please like the stream. We have 126 people here right now. There are only 64 likes, okay? Clearly, I have fallen off, okay? You see, 126 viewers from 300, 200, okay? I've fallen off, guys. It's over. Jake Hay, okay? 2 months ago, I was at like, what, 40 or something? Yeah, but thank you, okay? Also, can I just say something, okay? Real quick. Guys, if you guys would like to help me out, contribute to the stream, all right? I'm not like J-Stoke. Listen, I'm not evil. I'm not greedy, okay? This is one of the only times that I've asked you guys, please consider donating to the stream, all right? If my coverage of things, if my stream is enjoyable or acceptable even, all right, or helps you through work or any of that stuff, all right, please consider donating, okay? Please consider Streamlabs or Super Chat or doing a membership, okay? So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, okay? So far, there is no donos so far today, but I'm okay with that, okay? Some days do be like that, okay? Hold on. Is it? Nope. Nah. But they
Shut the
yeah.
fuck up.
Yeah, so
Hey.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Hassan is Team Tanky Dave Smith. Change my mind.
Thank you, Egghead. Thank you so much for the $5. Is that true? Fuck. No, I don't know how accurate that is, but sure. But thank you for the $5 though. Jay Stoke is fat. Thank you so much for the $5 upstate.
Just a drink. A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Thank you, thank you, thank
JSTLK
you.
is Fatih.
That's perfect. Thank you. I don't want to give Google a cut or dox myself. That's fine. Then you don't have to donate. You don't have to do anything. It's fine. All right. It's not like I'm calling you out by name, okay? Except for Chinchilla. We all call Chinchilla out by name, okay?
so at a
Keep the donations coming. Thank you.
certain point,
So he's doing the opposite.
at a certain point, with some people, you have to say, appealing to humanity isn't going to work. It's not going to work, and
Let's see.
we don't need to spend any time.
This is my first time looking at his fucking stories.
Oh, wow.
Holy
Live
shit,
react.
there's so many stories.
This is not his first time, and he knows this for a fact. Why the fuck does he... Like, I don't get why he pretends like this is
Just
his first
drink.
time.
A martini, shaken, not stirred.
Keep it up, Foodshops. Can I get a hearty heyo?
Hey, yo! Oh, wait, hold on. Hey, yo! Wait, how do you do it? What? Okay, whatever, man. Okay, but thank you. I appreciate that, Nathan. Okay? Stop being a groiper. I'm kidding. You're not the same Nathan, I know. Thank you so much for the $5, buddy. Yeah, good. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Stories, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's so many
20 hours
stories.
later?
What is this? Does this recognize this individual? I don't know what's going on here.
I think.
Does anyone recognize this individual from Montreal?
The
My Jewish
burgers.
friend.
The burger guy that was a fighter, Harley Morrison? He went to a concert and
just a
people
drink.
said some
A
anti-Semitic
martini,
stuff to him, or
shaken,
they
not
called him the.
stirred.
It's been a good week of content. Thanks.
No. It's been a good week of having the best fucking community and the best fucking chat on earth. Okay? That's what it is. Because without that, I wouldn't have the motivation to make content whatsoever. Alright? Because it's definitely not just for the money. It's definitely not just for the passion of content creation. It's also because I get to interact with you guys. So thank you. Thank you to you, okay? You had Destiny on stream. It was a good week for you. Yeah, but I've always enjoyed interacting with chat before these two were even involved whatsoever in any way. When I was a 18 viewer Andy, okay? So thank you. Okay. Keep the donos coming, okay? I appreciate it.
Something and then
I
this
don't know-
something and then
I
this
don't know who
guy's-
these fucking
It's like a
people
random
are.
guy that's like an anti-Semite or something, or like some kind of.
Every dollar donated to me is a dollar that goes towards spiting Jay Stoke and Queeman, okay? Alright? They know who I am.
Oh, this is like a random. Oh yeah, he. What is the difference between a fat kid and a Jew? They both had time What is
See,
it?
like, that's an anti-Semite.
I dedicate this.
Doing-
Wait, what? I'm mentioned here. I dedicate this convo to Hassan Piker, iDubbbz, and Anissa, who insist that I'm hallucinating anti-Semitism. This is a very persistent hallucination.
No, that's an anti-Semitic post. Ethan, you know how that's an anti-Semitic post. What's that got to do with him? What does that got to do with him?
Thank you.
When people say you're hallucinating anti-Semitism, it's
This
when you
guy
call.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry that not every single day is gonna be epic drama content, okay? I'm sorry about that. Yeah, genuinely. We also had tally bots on, okay, technically. But yeah, like, yeah. I mean, like, ultimately, I'm kind of a vibe streamer. It's just like the last 1 to 2 weeks have been incredibly hectic, with the amount of attention that's been happening. Just don't expect this to be normal, okay, please, okay? Ugh, that's too much pressure. This is not Starfield, Jesus.
He doesn't like me either, dumbass.
Oh, no. One thing I was looking at is, like, if you go back through your videos, the only person that's, like, criticizing Fuentes consistently for the last 6 years is you, and other
Yeah.
streamers in this zone are, like, hanging out with him and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like this anti-Semitism accusation is not borne out by the facts, other than the facts you spin off of a, you know, out of context clips.
Hamas